First, you want to start by drawing a big X over your entire picture plane. Using your ruler, just connecting those corners. And then take your ruler and place your back wall. Make sure that your wall is nice and parallel. You shouldn't have any diagonal lines here, just verticals and horizontals. Use the tick marks on your ruler to help you get things nice and straight. Once you've got that, you've found your vanishing point now, and you can erase up all of those extra lines around the vanishing point. So now you have your back wall and a nice square room. Working on one of your walls, take your ruler and make sure that you have evenly spread tick marks to guide you for putting down your orthogonal lines. I'm just doing an inch apart here. Do the same thing on the other wall. Inch apart tick marks. And then draw your orthogonal lines going from the vanishing point to these tick marks. Now the cool thing about having a room perfectly centered like this is that you can actually just keep your ruler in the same spot and work on both walls at the same time for finding your orthogonals. They should meet up just right. If you have a room that is off to the side, it is not going to work this way. Only if your room is perfectly centered. Okay, now from each corner of these walls, draw an X across them like we did in the paper in the beginning. Do this on both walls. Now wherever these X's cross over your orthogonal lines, notice these little intersections right here. There's a pair. Here's another little intersection. They work all the way back. This is where you actually can find your transversal lines. So line these up nice and horizontal and draw a line across. That's your first transversal. There's another. If you're noticing that they seem a little bit off, opt to just keep your ruler nice and horizontal with the picture plane. It's better to have them straight than kind of skewed off to the side. So work your way all the way to the back wall. And then do the same on the other wall. Okay, so now that we've found our transversals, we can find the transversals on the floor and on the ceiling. So wherever those transversals stopped, you can actually just connect those 2 points and just go across the whole floor. Much simpler than using the subdivision method. Once you've got those transversals, you can start to put in your orthogonal lines on the floor. I'm again just using 1 inch apart. Little tick marks, make sure that they're nice and evenly spaced. You want to do this on the ceiling as well, if you're making a nice pavement grid, but I'm not doing it at this point. Again, when you're drawing orthogonals, work from the vanishing point over to those little markers that you made. Now we can't forget to do the last thing, which is put our grid on the back wall. So just like we did with the transversals on the floor, just connect up those points from those orthogonals that are going to the back wall. So you're just going to make a nice grid of squares on the back. And then if you have your orthogonals on the ceiling, this part is going to be a lot easier. But I do not have my orthogonals on the ceiling, so I'm just going to try to keep my ruler as vertical as possible and draw the column lines for the back wall, just from where those orthogonals are coming from. So again, ladies, making a grid on your paper first before drawing objects will help you to just get things started, and you're good.